Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM, 99.5 FM, The Jag. A wonderful morning. We have had some moisture, some precipitation, so if you've missed the rain, it's back. It's back for you. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we're scheduled to learn about some stuff going on at the Sanger Theater. We'll check into that. Later in the hour, a new edition of Dear Ariel. I'm trying to think something through on a personal level. I saw the story that the people that are on the Morning Joe TV show on MSNBC, Joe and Mika, went on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert last night. And Joe Scarborough, former Republican politician, he got cheers. He got people cheering because he said that he was going to leave the Republican Party. Let's listen to the reaction.
How much of this country and our values are they willing to sell out?
But aren't you a Republican?
I am a Republican, but I'm not going to be a Republican anymore. I've got to become an independent.
Woo! All right, you heard the people there. They were very excited.
Republican, but I'm not going to be a Republican anymore. I've got to become an independent.
Woo! All right, now I don't know if they were Democrats glad to have him or if they were Republicans glad that he's leaving. It might be both. He may have said something that the entire audience could agree on. The Democrats want him. The Republicans, they have not wanted him in a long time. So he's pleased everyone. He's pleased the Democrats and the Republicans by leaving the Republican Party. But the reaction, see, I'm in a business where we wish we could get a reaction like that when we talk to people.
I've got to become an independent.
That reaction. I'm trying to think, is there something I can quit? I need all the help I can get. Maybe there's something I can quit and people... Or maybe I can join something and then quit it. I'm trying to think this through because I don't know that I'm not a member of many things. So I don't have a lot of options in things I can quit or things I can leave where there would be cheering like that. In fact, let me go to the email inbox. I do have an email on the topic. Subject line on the email is leaving the Republican Party. Email reads, Morning Joe leaving the Republican Party. That's odd to me. You have to wonder, was he really a Republican? I liken that to someone shifting their allegiance from the Tide to Auburn. I can't understand that. Now, the other way around from Auburn to Tide, that's understandable. Roll Tide roll in that email from Bama Big Man. Bama Big Man, thank you for your email. I don't know. As I mentioned, it sounds like both Republicans and Democrats are glad that Joe is leaving.
We are seeing some moderate slowing on westbound I-10 crossing the Bayway, primarily between the Causeway interchange and the Wallace Tunnel. Meantime, our other major bay crossing, westbound I-10 at the Escambia Bay Bridge, still thicker than usual due to earlier accidents and road work, all of which are out of the roadway. Lanes have been clear for a while. And our crash in Saraland still working. This is on eastbound 158 at I-65. I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
I'm Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for more storms, especially during the afternoon inland. We already have some along the coast this morning. Called a partly sunny and hot day with a high around 90. Mid-70s tonight with a slim chance of a storm, and then back into the low 90s on Thursday with a few more showers and storms. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by LifeLock. It's morning. Here's an eye-opener. LifeLock can see more threats to your identity than you can see if you're just monitoring your credit. And if something happens, a U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. Go to LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to save 10%.
Your music and radio all in one app. Everywhere you go on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Open the iHeartRadio app and listen today.
Your home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we're going to try to check in. I think the Sanger is going to show some classic films, and we'll find out what are they. What are the details? We'll find out about that in about 10 minutes. Meanwhile, Ariel, if you could join me, I want to ask Ariel what she thinks about all this. Ariel, it was last week that we talked about, well, actually it was earlier this week, we found out that over the weekend, Ariel watched the History Channel's documentary on the Amelia Earhart photograph.
Right.
Where some retired federal agent was going through the National Archives and found a photo, claimed the photo had been misfiled.
Right.
And the photo proving that Amelia Earhart was captured by the Japanese.
Okay, yeah. Which, by the way, I was super skeptical of the entire time because the photo was so blurry. How could you tell?
Well, I'm bringing it up because yesterday afternoon the story came out that a Japanese military history buff went online after this documentary was shown worldwide. The Japanese military history buff went online, spent about 30 minutes on Google, and found the same picture as part of a Japanese digital library. And he says that the picture was printed in a book, some kind of a tourist book, back in 1935, 2 years before Amelia Earhart's aircraft disappeared.
Bingo. That's what I was talking about right there. That's why it could never sit well with me, because it was like, how do you grab that from this picture? Like, you could barely make out the people in the picture. It was so blurry. Not to mention, it was just like the entire documentary, while it was so good to sit and watch, it just felt like it was reaching the entire time. Like they were just, hoping for the best and throwing it to the wall, hoping that it'll stick.
Well, this documentary, now the History Channel has responded and says they're going to examine the new evidence.
Right, of course they are.
They're going to examine the new evidence, but it took one guy about 30 minutes to go online and find the same picture digitized in a Japanese national library.
That is so sad.
Well, it really is. It really is, because they went to the trouble of producing the documentary, getting people all wound up about it. They even brought in these experts to claim that the facial
sorry. One of the experts they brought in was a high school teacher.
Okay. No offense to high school teachers.
No offense to high school teachers, but I'm just saying.
So now what does that do to all the experts on the History Channel's documentary?
That also, because I'm watching another documentary on the History Channel about the American Ripper. Now I'm looking at the validity of that. While I was already looking at that last night while I was watching the show. It's still a good show, but I'm like, this is purely for
Did you say American Ripper?
Yeah.
What is that?
So there's this guy who is convinced that his great-great-great-grandfather, H.H. Holmes, America's very first serial killer, was actually Jack the Ripper. And so now he wants to make the connection between the two, even though scholars for years have been telling him that is not the same person.
So he thinks Jack the Ripper went on the lam out of Great Britain and came over and was the American Ripper as well.
Exactly, out of Chicago, yes.
All right, well, we need to get this military historian from Japan to start Googling and see if he can solve this in 30 minutes or less.
15 minutes.
All right, thank you, Ariel. So if you were all excited about the Amelia Earhart documentary, somebody was able to debunk it in 30 minutes on Google. The Uncle Henry Show continues.
President Donald Trump pledged to build a wall to keep America safe.
The wall's going to get built, and the wall is going to stop drugs, and it's going to stop a lot of people from coming in that shouldn't be here.
But liberals are fighting Trump every step of the way, even creating sanctuary cities where police are prohibited from turning over illegal immigrants. Alabama's Senator Luther Strange is working to build Trump's wall and keep us safe. Strange introduced Senate Bill 1126, the Securing the Border and Protecting Our Communities Act. Senator Strange's bill will take federal funds away from sanctuary cities that defy our immigration laws and use that money to build the wall. Call Senator Luther Strange at 205-731-1500 and tell him to keep working to pass S-1126. Tell him to keep fighting to build President Trump's wall and keep Alabama safe. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Celebrate your independence with a safe from Mike Ward's Liberty Safes. Come by the Mobile store for instant savings up to $1,000 off on select Liberty models in stock with 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Right now, also receive a free accessory up to $50 with every Liberty Safe purchase. It's service after the sale at Mike Ward's Liberty Safes with free delivery up to 50 miles. Why go anywhere else? Just look for the giant Liberty Safe at exit 5B, I-65 and Moffett in Mobile. Call 471-1137.
News Radio 710 and the grounds have partnered together to recognize the heroes among us. This month, we're looking to honor the friend or neighbor that always goes above and beyond for others. Nominate your community hero today at newsradio710.com, keyword hero.
I don't like compromise, which means I don't want adjusting my underwear every other set until it becomes part of my routine. Solution? Freego by revolutionwear.com. Underwear reimagined. I stay cool.
And we're back. We're back here on the Uncle Henry Show. I'm watching the hotline for a lady from the Sanger Theater who will tell us just a brief conversation about classic movie series at the Sanger Theater. So she may or may not call. It all depends. I noticed we were running a commercial for mail order underpants. Did you hear that? And I've noticed there's a lot of these commercials now for different companies that are selling underpants on, it's all mail order, that you just buy your size and it's sent to you in the mail. And I kind of like the idea. I've explained to you before, I'm very uncomfortable buying underwear, underpants. Oh, I see the caller is calling in on the hotline. I'm uncomfortable buying those things at Walmart or Target or JCPenney. I don't want people to see me putting that. I just don't want people to see me buying the underpants. I don't want them to think of that. When they think of me in the future or listen to me on the air, I don't want them to think that. So I like the mail order aspect of it. It saves the embarrassment. All right, stand by. We're going to talk about the Sanger Theater classic movies for the summer. That is coming up right after traffic and weather.
I-65, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's.
Introducing McDonald's Happy Annie Hour. Enjoy refreshing deals all day, like soft drinks for $1, small McCafe Delights for $2, and medium Minute Maid slushies for $1.49. Be Happy Annie Hour at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. If you've enjoyed the past few days, well, you're in luck, as we're in for the same type of weather today. Expect isolated storms along the coast during the morning hours, giving way to scattered showers and storms across all of the area this afternoon as we climb to 90 for the high. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Teach your kids about the dangers of drug abuse at the new interactive exhibit now at the Gulf Coast Explorium. Drugs, cost, and consequences. See an actual South American jungle cocoa processing lab and a recreated Afghan heroin factory. Plus, artifacts from the Twin Towers and Pentagon connecting the link between drugs and terrorism. Analyze brain scans in a simulated MRI machine to learn the science behind drug addiction. The DEA and the Gulf Coast Explorium present Drugs, Cost, and Consequences. Find out more at Explorium.com.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening. We have news from Fox and from Local 15's Darwin coming up in about 10 minutes. The Mobile Sanger Theater has a classic movie series about to begin, and we have with us from the Sanger, Carolyn Watts-Smith. Carolyn, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. So when is the first movie in the classic movie series?
Okay, the Mobile Sanger Theater movie series starts this Sunday, July 16th, with Breakfast at Tiffany's. and we run for 6 weeks, and our finale is Gone with the Wind. It runs every Sunday for those 6 weeks. The doors open at 2:30, and the film starts at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so this is going to be on Sundays with the movie starting at 3 at the Sanger. And the first one is Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes, we have Breakfast at Tiffany's on July 16th, Blazing Saddles, July 23rd, The Color Purple, July 30th, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, August 6th, North by Northwest, August 13th, and Gone with the Wind on August 20th.
Who gets to pick the movies?
Oh, it's a double secret.
Oh,
We just pick the most popular, and we always love when people email us and telling us, hey, we'd love to see this movie again. Some of the movies have played at the theater before, and some of them are new. So there's something for everybody. There's an adult movie, there's a children's movie, and then there's a classic epic.
I've never watched a movie at the Sanger. Is it a big screen like at a big movie theater?
Yes, Sanger Theater was originally a movie house. 90 years ago, it was constructed as a film movie house. So we do have a giant screen that you sit in front of and enjoy a classic movie.
Now, is this do a lot of people show up for this?
Oh, yes, definitely. In the summer, especially right now when it's hot and it's rainy, there's nothing better than come in and see a movie in the nice, cool comfort of a Sanger Theater.
Now, you mentioned the final one is going to be Gone with the Wind. Now, is that like a top request? Do people want that in the movie theater setting?
Yes, that is a number one request because it airs unedited in its original format. We do have a 20-minute intermission because it is a long film. But, yes, that is our number one request.
Now, you say unedited in its original format. Have people messed with it over the years?
Well, you know, when you watch on AMC, you know, edited for content, edited for commercials, we do not mess with it. We air the original. All movies are aired in the original content.
Wow, okay. Well, that's a very, you've got a lot of variety in that lineup, putting in Color Purple, Gone with the Wind, Blazing Saddles. That is not one I would have expected that you would have picked.
It is a popular film. It was shown several years ago with rave reviews, just the appreciation of everybody being able to see it in its true format.
Okay, so how much are the tickets to get into the movie?
Okay, the tickets are, excuse me, $6 for adults and $3 for children and $3 for seniors. And it's all general admission. Movies are seated on a first-come, first-served basis. Tickets are sold at the box office. They're not available for online purchasing so that we can keep the cost down. You can purchase your tickets at either the Sanger box office located at 6 South Joachim Street in downtown Mobile, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., or at the Mobile Civic Center box office located on 401 Civic Center Drive, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. And then the Sanger box office will open the day of the movie at 12:30. We advise everybody to go ahead and get your tickets now. You can buy them weeks in advance, just whenever you're downtown for Art Walk this week, or if you're downtown dining, to go ahead and purchase your tickets so you don't have to wait in line to get your ticket to get into the movie, because the doors open at 2:30 and that movie starts right at 3.
All right. Now, some people are going to want to know, will refreshments be sold as in adult beverages like at other Sanger concerts?
Of course. We have our full concessions downstairs. They will be open for snacks and beverages like popcorn, candy, soda, beer, wine, mixed drinks.
All right. Well, Carolyn, thank you for telling us about it. I appreciate it.
Oh, just one other thing.
Yes.
For the Color Purple, we're going to be helping out the Penelope House. So everybody bring in some flip-flops, all sizes for adults and children, standard pillowcases and diapers, sizes 4, 5, and 6, and you'll get a little treat.
All right. Well, Carolyn, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Uncle Henry. I appreciate it.
There she goes, Carolyn Watts Smith with the Sanger. That is quite a list of films, beginning with this Sunday, Breakfast at Tiffany's, there at the Sanger. A lot of those movies Blazing Saddles. That's very different in tone from Breakfast at Tiffany's. I guess something for everyone, maybe. So, classic movie series at the Sanger Theater. It's interesting to hear someone say that to keep the cost down, the tickets are sold in person and not online. That is almost refreshing. And yeah, I know you probably like to buy things online. I find it almost refreshing in modern times that you can do that. All right, look, we have news coming up from Fox, news from Local 15's Darwin, traffic, weather, all of that, and then more of the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM The Jag. You can also watch the show on Facebook on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page. And welcome back. Hey, Facebook. Just want to say hello to those that are watching. And there are a few of you on Facebook. This list of movies. The list of movies, some of them would be considered not very PC in today's climate. So I found that's interesting. All right, what to talk about as we move forward here. Coming up in about 20 minutes, a new edition of Dear Ariel. That's coming up. I'm looking through a list of brand new stories that have come across our news service. We have a news service. That's where we line up Joe Gomez. And I'm looking at some of the stories that have come across. All right, let's see. Here's a story that you and I can enjoy together. A man is behind bars for robbing a church, but he didn't steal money. Here is the story.
The guy got caught stealing 3 canisters of frozen chocolate candy coins from Living Messiah Ministries near Robson and Main Streets in Mesa. Officials say the man was caught on security video about a week ago, breaking the glass on the front door of the church and snooping around. Investigators later found the freezer door open, and then when they confronted him a short time later, the chocolate was said to be still cold to the touch. I'm Jason Campidonia, NBC News Radio, Phoenix.
All right, so a guy's going to go to jail for stealing chocolate coins in Arizona. Maybe he was stealing them because they were cold, and Arizona's really hot. So you have that story. All right, also in New Jersey, people are worried about jellyfish.
Friday, out on Long Beach Island, lifeguards for Harvey Cedars Beach Patrol found a Portuguese man-o'-war. Wildlife experts say the venomous sea creatures, also known as blue bottles or floating terrors, can have tentacles that can be 160 feet long, and they pack a very painful sting. They might look like jellyfish, but they're not, and they hurt a lot more. 2 summers ago, several New Jersey and New York beaches saw over a dozen man-o'-wars, and 2 children were stung. Of course, if you see one, resist the urge to mess with it and give Beach Patrol a call. James Flippin, NBC News Radio, New Jersey.
So in New Jersey, jellyfish make the news. Now, I guess locally jellyfish can make the news. What's more bleed and lead? Flesh-eating bacteria or jellyfish that you need to resist the temptation to mess with them, as the man was talking about? All right, let's see. All right, here's another story. I hope I'm not driving you nuts by running down these stories. I'm just curious about these stories. I see them listed, but nothing tells me what's actually in the story. Here's something about a Canadian teenager was arrested for throwing pizza out of his car window.
Police say the teen threw the piece of pie towards a man who was standing outside his home. The slice never touched the man and landed on the ground. Still, he called the police. After reviewing surveillance video, the teen was arrested.
All right, wait, I've got to stop. So a man is in his yard, and a teenager drives by and throws a piece of pizza at him that doesn't hit him. It falls on the ground, but the man calls the police on the teenager anyway. Let's find what happened. This has become a story, so I guess they must have caught the pizza-throwing teen.
Still, he called the police. After reviewing surveillance video, the teen was arrested for assault. Police say the two knew each other, so the pizza assault may have had something to do with a personal history. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
So assault, throwing a slice of pizza at somebody. What would have happened? What do you think the injury would have been had the slice of pizza hit the man? I guess if it were really hot. If you were a police officer, wouldn't you be irritated that you had to go and investigate somebody throwing a slice of pizza at somebody? And if you were a district attorney, wouldn't you be irritated that somebody wanted to press charges about a piece of pizza being thrown? The only people happy in this story have to be the reporters that are covering it and the man that had the piece of pizza thrown at him. All right, let's see what else. Is there anything else? Oh, here we go. The King Cobras. Let's listen to the King Cobra story.
Officials announced on Tuesday that on June 29th, CPB officers examined an express mail package from Hong Kong, which contained what the sender said was a plastic tray. However, an X-ray showed what appeared to be snakes in a round container, along with 3 geckos. The reptiles were turned over to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, which is investigating. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
Okay, and they were king cobras. Somebody was mailing cobras and geckos. I guess I'd call that news of the weird, what we've just done. All right, I see that Bert is waiting. So when we go back on the radio, you'll have the joy of hearing from Bert, and I believe he's calling in about the Ariel American Ripper story, about Jack the Ripper. Did Jack the Ripper leave Great Britain and come and be a ripper on a different continent? The president just tweeted, by the way, the tweet from the president, why aren't the same standards placed on the Democrats? Look what Hillary Clinton may have gotten away with. Disgraceful. The president has tweeted a lot today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The president tweeting it up this morning. All right, stand by. We have, we're coming back on the radio with Bert in about 1 minute.
An interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Mercedes-Benz is a car like no other. We're offering leasing specials to fit any budget, only at Mercedes-Benz and Mobile. If you thought you couldn't afford a Mercedes, think again. Mercedes-Benz and Mobile has your lifestyle and budget in mind. Come and visit our showroom on Dolphin Street or go to mbmobile.com for details. When I say affordable, I really mean it. Only at Mercedes-Benz and Mobile.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll have a new edition of Dear Ariel. Earlier, Ariel and I were talking about the Amelia Earhart documentary and how someone debunked it. Just doing 30 minutes of searching on Google, they were able to debunk that documentary. Ariel then said she's watching a documentary now that speculates that Jack the Ripper left Great Britain and came to our country. Bert is with us. Bert, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Henry.
Do you know a lot about Jack the Ripper?
Yes, I do. I've read a lot about that case. This fella, H.H. Holmes in Chicago, he was active a few years after the Ripper, but his modus operandi was a bit different. He lured people into his house. They went in and they never came out. He was executed in the mid-1890s for a string of murders.
Maybe he lured them in because he was unfamiliar with the geography of America.
Well, actually, the identity of Jack the Ripper was made known a couple of years ago. I don't know why it didn't get more publicity. They took a shawl from one of his victims. They first of all did the DNA to confirm that it was her. You know, they did it, checked it, her descendants, her family, whatever. And then they found some more DNA on the shawl, and they tried to match it to the list of Scotland Yard suspects from the time. And they found a match. The fellow's name was Aaron Kosminski. He was a Polish butcher. And there are a lot of other suspects that, you know, I've read a lot of books about it. They do check out. An artist that later moved to America was one of the suspects. The heir to the British throne was another one. But the DNA proved that at least that one victim was killed by the Polish butcher, Aaron Kosminski.
Okay. Now, I tried to be like the guy that debunked the History Channel documentary, and I just Googled and found some other person that the London Telegraph is saying is the actual. So it sounds like there are a lot of different suspects still, even though you're claiming they've identified one killer.
Well, that's right. It wasn't necessarily a case of every victim was killed by the same person. They only know that one victim was killed by that one suspect. That doesn't prove all of them.
All right. Bert, I've got to run into the traffic and weather, but thank you for your Jack the Ripper knowledge. Cold case. A really, really cold case is what we've been discussing. We'll go into other topics in just a moment.
We have seen a rapid improvement now in the delay on westbound I-10 across the Bayway. For a while, there was braking between the Causeway interchange and the Wallace Tunnel. A lot of this is traffic headed to downtown Mobile, or more traffic than usual because of an education conference at the convention center. But again, traffic flow does seem to be better there. Still looking at a accident that knocked a power pole down on the roadway on Airport and Flav Pierce near Baker High School. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
Life is great. Oh, my customers are delighted. Everywhere I go, I run into somebody tell me how happy they are, their friends and relatives are with their Lazy Boy furniture, and it gets better. Isn't that great? With our Super Saturday sale going on this weekend, we can make life better while we save you a whole lot of money.
Now, Gulf Coast weather from Local 15.
I'm Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. Your forecast calls for more storms, especially during the afternoon inland. We already have some along the coast this morning. Called a partly sunny and hot day with a high around 90. Mid-70s tonight with a slim chance of a storm, and then back into the low 90s on Thursday with a few more showers and storms. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
This report is brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. Did you hear that 91% of guys that use Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant recommend it? Dove Men Plus Care user Rob said that it's like the Hoover Dam, but for his armpits. Well, if it can hold back that much sweat, Rob, it must be good. Pick up some new Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant for yourself at your local retailer.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. We have a new edition of Dear Ariel coming up in about 10 minutes. The president just tweeted again during traffic and weather, tweeting the White House is functioning perfectly, focused on health care, tax cuts, reform, and many other things. I have very little time for watching TV. So that is what the president says. The president says that the White House is functioning perfectly, and he has very little time for watching TV. Let me look quickly here on the Drudge Report. The Drudge Report has headline, West Wing leaks by the dozen, under siege. But the president is contradicting that, saying White House functioning perfectly, and he has very little time to watch TV. I'm glad. That is reassuring that the president has things functioning perfectly. And we've had a lot of reaction today to Donald Trump Jr., who released an email chain yesterday. I'm sure you saw a lot of the reaction or maybe listened to it on our radio station about him wanting to get, somebody was offering information on Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump Jr., and there was a lot of reaction yesterday. We had a call earlier this morning, last hour, from longtime Uncle Henry Show caller Freddie, who made quite an explosive allegation. He alleges that Donald Trump Jr. has been trained from infancy to be a double agent for the Russians.
What I call for, Uncle Henry, this Donald Trump Jr. was raised by his mother, which is a Russian, for 20 years before his daddy took control of him, Uncle Henry. So the connection is there.
Right. Now Donald Trump Jr.'s mom is Czechoslovakian. But still, Freddie thought that was Soviet influence over the young Donald Trump Jr., that Donald Trump Jr. Influenced by being raised by a Czechoslovakian. So that's the level of discourse that if you missed that this morning, that's the level of discourse that you missed on the Uncle Henry Show. Donald Trump Jr. was on Hannity last night, and he did say that he was happy to cooperate with the authorities in any way that he can.
I will. I've said it publicly. I said it yesterday. More than happy to cooperate with everyone. I just want the truth to get out there. I mean, that's part of why I released all the stuff today. I wanted to get it all out there. They're trying to drag out the story, in all fairness. You know, they have it. They want to drip a little bit today, drip a little bit then. So I was like, here it is. I'm more than happy to be transparent about it, and I'm more than happy to cooperate with everyone.
So as far as you know, as far as this incident is concerned, this is all of it?
This is everything. This is everything.
Was anybody else at any point in the campaign said, oh, I've got information about Hillary that you remember?
No.
Let me go back to what Tim Kaine said. Well, if it is what you said you're at, especially, you know, you'd want it released later in the summer. Do you think that's unusual for a campaign to want op research? And I'll get to the Ukrainian issue, which I think has been underreported, especially in light of this coverage. But
well, like I said, I think we had more important things to worry about. I wasn't sure of the credibility of any of this stuff. At the time, I'm sitting there, Indiana had just probably happened. You know, I'm worried about hearing a contested convention. So, you know, we're going to fight. This is the first time we've ever done any of this.
Okay. Freddie believes he's a Manchurian candidate. Coming up after traffic and weather, a new edition of Dear Ariel.
You've heard the news.
It's a new generation of missiles.
You know the story.
All options are on the table.
Now it's time to share your opinion.
We have a very serious issue in the world right now called North Korea.
News Radio 710, WNTM.
Football season will be here before we know it, and I wanted to be ready for it. So I called TSI Alarms and Audio, locally owned and operated. They handle my monitored home security, but I know they also do much more, including home audio and video. So I told them what I wanted, a big TV for football and a modern sound system, and I told them my budget. Then TSI worked with my budget, and they made my football dreams come true. I now have a big TV and a state-of-the-art Sonos soundbar and subwoofer, all professionally installed. Now I love watching TV, and I never knew how much I could love a subwoofer. You should do the same. Make your football dreams come true. Call TSI Alarms and Audio, 251-662-0500, or visit them online. The website is TSIalarmsandaudio.com.
It's Luau Bike Night time Thursday at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, and there's not a 1,000% chance of rain. Woohoo! Great news, because those grass skirts can get kind of musty. The party is 6 till 9 Thursday with music by the Crosstown Band, food for purchase from Dragon's Catering. Aaron and Janie want to see you bend in the limbo competition, and they're raising money from the pinup contest and raffles for the low-cost spay and neuter clinic in Pensacola. So let's get lazy. It's the Luau Bike Night Thursday at Harley-Davidson of Pensacola, Highway 29, Car City.
This is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about Dr. Thomas Bender and Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. We love living on the Gulf Coast. We love all the fun activities, the fishing, the golf. But years of being out in the elements, well, that can accelerate damage to your skin. That can accelerate the aging process of your skin. Dr. Bender can help you with that. Dr. Bender is a board-certified dermatologist. He provides the latest innovations in medical skincare and cosmetic skincare, and he also has all the latest technology. He's got 3 convenient locations, Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. You can find out more about Dr. Bender and all of the services he provides by going online. The website is advanceddermclinic.com. That's advanceddermclinic.com. You can make an appointment there online, or you can call for your appointment. The number is 251-631-3570. That's Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center.
You don't want to mess with the IRS. They have the power to garnish your paycheck, levy your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. That's all true. But thankfully, they're offering a way out. The Fresh Start Initiative. If you qualify, it could save you thousands. The experts at Optima Tax Relief will fight to get you the best possible tax settlement. And they have an A rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Call Optima for your free consultation.
Call 800-960-1575. 800-960-1575.
Hey, thanks for checking out this preview of our brand new podcast from Mike.com. I'm Antonia Cerejido.
And I'm Chris Duffy. We'll be your hosts on a voyage into the sometimes scary waters of business, finance, and money matters that we're calling The Payoff.
The idea for this show is that we're regular-ish people who, maybe like you, wish we knew more about money and were better at saving it, keeping it, and earning more of it.
So each episode, we're going to explore the best ways to do all of that. Dollars have never made so much sense.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Kia Traffic Center.
We have seen a rapid improvement now in the delay on westbound I-10 across the Bayway. For a while, there was braking between the Causeway interchange and the Wallace Tunnel. A lot of this is traffic headed to downtown Mobile, or more traffic than usual because of an education conference at the convention center. But again, traffic flow does seem to be better there. Still looking at a accident that knocked a power pole down on the roadway on Airport and Flav Pierce near Baker High School. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
Life is great. Oh, my customers are delighted. Everywhere I go, I run into somebody tell me how happy they are, their friends and relatives are with their Lazy Boy furniture, and it gets better. Isn't that great? With our Super Saturday sale going on this weekend, we can make life better while we save you a whole lot of money.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Gemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Good Wednesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for Local 15 News. If you've enjoyed the past few days, well, you're in luck, as we're in for the same type of weather today. Expect isolated storms along the coast during the morning hours, giving way to scattered showers and storms across all of the area this afternoon as we climb to 90 for the high. I'm meteorologist Jake Dunn for this iHeart radio station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. It's time for a new edition of Dear Ariel. This is where we take letters to Dear Abby and we pose them to Ariel so that we can compare and contrast the different answers, different women, different generations. Ariel, are you ready for your letters?
Absolutely.
Okay, dear Ariel.
Okay.
My husband and I went on a trip with his brother and his wife recently.
Okay.
3 days into the trip, while we were having dinner at a restaurant, my sister-in-law yelled at me, "Shut up, you talk too much." I was stunned. Then my husband said, "I agree with her."
Oh.
Words cannot express how surprised and hurt I felt. I do sometimes talk a lot when I'm excited, but no one has ever said this to me, certainly not my husband. The next day I felt very angry, especially at my husband for siding with her against me in public. I asked him to please tell me when we are alone if he has a problem with something I said or did, rather than embarrass me. I feel betrayed and angry. What should I do? And that's from Angry and Hurt.
You should build a bridge and get over it. Now, while he was wrong, like whenever you're dealing with your significant other and you have some type of, grievance with them, it is always absolutely best to deal with that kind of stuff in private. You never ever, like when sister-in-law was like, "Shut up, you talk too much," he should have kept his mouth shut or defended you. One of the two things. Like either you be quiet, don't say nothing at all, or you defend her. Now, sis, you probably talk too much. If two people told you back to back you talk too much and you feel like you kind of talk too much, you talk too much, all right? So nobody was lying here, but yeah, it was a little too much.
Okay.
But let's not be melodramatic.
Your answer is similar to Abby's, but better.
Really?
Abby's answer is your feelings are justified. Your sister-in-law may have been frustrated at your verbosity, but she should not have attacked you at the dinner table. Her helpful criticism should have been offered privately and in gentler terms. The same is true about your husband, who should not have ganged up on you. What he did was hurtful, not helpful. Both of them owe you an apology.
Don't nobody owe you an apology. You just figure out how to deal with that a little bit better, especially not the sister-in-law. Like, in-laws are not supposed to be your friend.
Okay. Oh, they're not?
No.
Ooh.
Everybody knows that.
Here is another letter.
Okay.
Dear Ariel, my fiance and I had a party. A very good friend of mine came with her 4-year-old daughter, Emma. It grew late, and my friend wanted to stay for a while, so we put Emma in our bed to sleep. The guest room was unavailable. After going upstairs to get Emma later in the evening, my friend came downstairs with Emma and told us that the child had wet our bed. Not wanting to make Emma feel bad, we said it was no problem. My friend did not strip the bed, did not offer to wash the sheets or anything. She hasn't mentioned it since and didn't follow up to make sure we were able to get the urine out of our bedding and the mattress. I find this to be incredibly rude and inconsiderate, but at the same time, what's done is done, and there was no lasting damage. Should I say something to my friend or let it go? And that is from Accident in the Bedroom.
The theme of today, build a bridge and get over it. Why are you holding on to that, sis? If when she came downstairs and you told her, "Oh, no big deal, it's all right," no, I'm not going to strip the bed and go wash it or follow up with you about the situation. First of all, it's embarrassing enough as is, so no, I'm not going to relive that moment by asking you about it. Second of all, if you keep reassuring your friend, "No big deal, it's all right, it's all good," then it's all good. Shut up talking about it. Don't write a letter about it. Leave it alone.
All right, your answer similar to Abby's, although hers is, well, I'll let you judge.
Okay.
Abby writes, "Let it go. You should have spoken up about your true feelings when the accident happened.
Hello.
In the future, consider purchasing a moisture-resistant mattress cover for your bed and the one in the guest room in case of accidents. It may reduce the ick factor if you're squeamish."
Well, if you don't often have a 4-year-old in your bed, I don't see why you should spend that money.
Right. Well, that's a weird answer. It would have made more sense if Abby had a link or something for people to buy.
Right.
Some mattress cover.
Maybe she's teamed up with Hints from Heloise and they just knocked this out together.
All right. Thank you, Ariel.
Certainly.
Another edition of Dear Ariel. Ariel mentioned Hints from Heloise. Hints from Heloise is in today's newspaper. And the headline is, "Many factors affect the softness of cookies." That's what, if you were ever wondering why some cookies are hard and some cookies are soft, this is what's valuable in the newspaper. You're wondering, should I buy a paper? The softness of cookies is covered in today's Hints from Heloise. And no, I will not reveal the secret of cookie softness. I'm going to leave that up to you. If you feel like you really need to know, you'll be able to find it in your local newspaper. Also, one more thing. There was a story in the local newspaper I found quite interesting about a dog. A Midtown couple lost their dog. According to a story written by Michelle Matthews, the dog got out of the backyard to chase a cat, and they looked for it for about 12 days, couldn't find it, and it didn't have its collar on. It was microchipped, but they couldn't find it, and so 12 days go by, and then they get a call from Dodge City, Kansas. The dog is in Kansas, and they have to go up to Kansas to get the dog. And the way the dog got in Kansas is the dog was in a parking lot, and two teenagers had gone from Kansas to Florida on vacation, and they were coming back and had stopped in Mobile and found the dog in the parking lot. And they decided to take the dog with them to Kansas. Instead of turning the dog in locally, they turned the dog in Kansas. Doesn't that sound like something a teenager would do? But happily, the dog is home. Out of time. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show.
Today, we're talking about your budget and budget.